just talking about the fundamentals, Italy typically works off gross initial yields, and that I think is what was being quoted earlier on, 6%, 7%, 8%, 9%. If we're going to talk transactions in Parco de' Medici, let's go well into double figures. I wonder to what extent those are being driven firstly by the lack of sustainability of historic rents which are currently in place, but where leases will soon come up for renegotiation. And to what extent they're also being driven by increased non-recoverable costs, which of course don't impact on the gross yield, but do impact on the return to the investor. And here we're talking about increases in property taxes, substantially increased tenants' incentives, increased risk of vacancy in particular.
I don't particularly agree on the decrease in the rents, honestly, because what has been particularly evident in Italy versus Spain is, for example, that the office market have been much more resilient to significant rent reduction. Also, not counting prime, but even if you consider, okay, fine, there have been let's say a reduction, but let's say not a dramatic one like we understand that have been in other Southern European cities. So, and also with regard to retail, the retail rents have been much more stable than other places. I agree on the new taxation. That is a factor that is driven by the fact that the European Commission has requested to Italy to do efforts, and so we have to make our efforts. With regard to NOI calculation, honestly, I would say that starting from a couple of years, all of our IMs and I believe also with regard to our most important competitors, we now always work on an NOI basis. So I was just saying before, we are trying to educate our local counterparts in order to be more able to dialogue with international counterparts. So that is important also for the international audience to understand, because we are doing big efforts in this sense.